Mahabharata, Chapter 38, The Kurus Rooted, read by Nirvan Bajaj and Ikveer Bajaj. Mahabharata, Chapter 38, The Kurus Rooted. Vaishampayan then continued. Thus, on the afternoon of the 17th day of the Great War, Karna lay dead on the battlefield. The sun appeared to mellow its radiance for a while, as if mourning the death of his beloved son. A tearful Shalya drove the chariot back, divested of both its banner and owner. His ears were filled with the triumphant cries of rejoicing emanating from the Pandava forces celebrating their victory. Dhritarashtra asked Sanjaya,
"What was the state of our army after the fearsome duel between Karna and Arjun?"
And Sanjaya replied, "Our soldiers were like a herd of bulls, shorn of their horns, or like serpents deprived of their fangs. The army was in total disarray." To rally his forces again, Duryodhana had to take the lead. He said, "Take my chariot ahead. I will kill Arjun, Krishna and that conceited Bhima and avenge the death of Karna." Bhim jumped down from his chariot and with his mace mercilessly killed the soldiers on foot, while Arjun attacked the warriors on chariot. Tormented by the arrows of Dhristadyumna, Shikhandi, Nakul and Sahadev, the Kaurav soldiers began to flee the battlefield. Duryodhana addressed the fleeing soldiers. "Where will you run? The coward and the brave alike have to face death ultimately. Come, my brave warriors, choose to die like true Kshatriyas." But the wounded and frightened soldiers were in no mood to hear his discourse. They ran as fast as their feet could take them. Shalya said to Duryodhana, "Behold, O king, the field is strewn with fallen soldiers. Come, let us return to camp, allow the soldiers to go back." Duryodhana could not control his tears as they made back their way to the camp. He could not get over Karna's death. "Oh, Karna! Karna!" In a jubilant mood, Krishna and Arjun returned to the camp. They rushed to Yudhishthira's tent to convey the good news of Karna's death. Krishna said, "It is indeed fortunate that Arjun, Bhim, Nakul, Sahadev and you have emerged unscattered in the battle. Come, let us hasten to finish the task in hand. You must prepare yourself to rule the earth now." Yudhishthira affectionately held Krishna's hand and said, "With you on our side, our victory was certain, O Lord. Tonight, after 13 long years, we will sleep without a worry." In the Kaurav camp, the venerable Kripacharya counselled Duryodhana, "To fight in a battle is indeed the prime duty of a Kshatriya. But now, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Jayadratha and all your brothers have been killed. Even your son Lakshman has been killed. 17 long days of dreadful battle have passed. Like a raging forest fire, Arjun has destroyed your army. Make peace with the Pandavas. This is my sincere advice to you." For a while, Duryodhana sat silent. Then with a sigh, he said, "I know you mean well, but I cannot take your advice. A man on his deathbed does not relish medicine. Having ruled over the entire earth, how can I be dependent of the Pandavas? To die peacefully in a bed is shameful for a true Kshatriya. So I must fight and die a glorious death." His soldiers hailed his decision and resolving to fight the next day, they all retired for the night. Next morning, Duryodhana consulted Ashwadhama. He said, "I seek your advice as the son of our Guru. Who do you suggest should lead our army now?" And Ashwadhama replied, "The brave Shalya should be our commander." Duryodhana requested Shalya to take charge. Duryodhana said, "This is a testing time for us. Please take command and lead us to victory today." And Shalya said, "I shall do my best for you. Either win the war or die in the battlefield." The Kauravas then planned their strategy. Refrain from single combats. We will fight no duels today. Our warriors will fight in unison and protect one another. When the Kaurava soldiers learned that Shalya would be their commander, they cheered so loudly that Yudhishthir could hear them. I think Shalya, the ace archer, has been put in command, O Krishna. What do you suggest we do now? Krishna said, Shalya is indeed superior to stalwarts like Shikhandi. Krishna continued, you alone are capable of killing Shalya, O king. I forget that he is your uncle and fight. The Pandavas divided their forces into 3 divisions, headed by Drishtadyumna, Shikhandi and Satyaki. In his impatience to kill Shalya, Yudhishthir rapidly advanced towards him. Arjuna attacked the Shamshaptakas and Bhima fell upon Shakuni. Dhritarashtra interrupted Sanjaya's narration and said, how many soldiers remained in the 2 armies? And Sanjaya replied, in your army, where there were 11,000 chariots, 17,000 elephants, 2 lakh horses and 3 crore infantry men, among the Pandavas there were 6,000 chariots, 6,000 elephants, 10,000 horses and 2 crore infantrymen. With Yudhishthir leading the way, Drishtadyumna and Shikhandi, Nakul and Sahadev together fell upon Shalya. The Kaurava soldiers were frightened of this combined attack, but Shalya was undaunted. He told his charioteer, lead me to Yudhishthir and watch me in action today. Indeed, Shalya alone was capable of restraining the surging Pandav forces. Just then, Nakul attacked Karna's son, Chitrasen. Being equally well matched in prowess, the duel was long drawn and furious. Nakul's chariot was destroyed. With his sword held aloft, he advanced towards Chitrasen. Suddenly, he leaped onto Chitransen's chariot and with a fatal blow from a sword, beheaded him. Chitransen's brothers, Sushen and Satyasen, attacked Nakul but soon met with the same fate as Chitransen. Seeing Shalya being attacked by the Pandavas, Kritavarma, Kripa, Shakuni and Ashwadhama came to his help. An enraged Kritavarma inflicted a wound on Bhima. Kripacharya worried Drishtadyumna with a volley of arrows, and Ashwadhama attacked Nakul and Sahadev. When Bhima's horses were killed by Kritavarma, he jumped down from the chariot brandishing his mace. After chasing away Kritavarma, Bhima turned to Shalya and killed his horses. Shalya skillfully threw a spear at Bhima. Unruffled, Bhima caught the weapon in his hand and threw it back at Shalya's charioteer so swiftly that he fell off. Shalya then took up a mace. Standing tall like a mountain, the 2 warriors assembled, 2 enraged bulls raring for a fight. Sparks flew each time their maces clashed. Wounded and bleeding profusely, their circle reared and attacked till both of them collapsed simultaneously. Kripacharya quickly put Shalya in his chariot and took him away. On recovering, Bhima sprang up with a roar, ready for the fray again. The enthused soldiers from both armies seemed all eager to embrace death. The battlefield resounded with their blood-curdling cries. Shalya and Yudhishthir were once again in direct confrontation. When Yudhishthir cut off Shalya's banner and with a well-aimed spear, he retaliated by covering him with a cloud of arrows. Satyaki, Bhima, Nakul and Sahadev rushed to Yudhishthir's side and harassed Shalya. But Shalya took good care of himself. Attacking Satyaki, Bhima and Nakul with a shower of arrows, the Pandavas tried various weapons on Shalya, but he lived up to his reputation of a great warrior. He quelled them all. A niggling doubt began to torment Yudhishthir. He thought, Krishna said we would be victorious, but Shalya appears to be capable of destroying my whole army. All of us together cannot contain him. Meanwhile, Arjuna and Ashwadhama were locked in combat. Arjun's chariot was barely visible in the arrows. Noting Shalya's prowess, Yudhishthir called his brothers together. He said, Bhishma, Drona and Karna and other many brave warriors fell because of your efforts. Now Shalya alone remaining. Leave this task to me. I want Nakul and Sahadev to guard my chariot wheels. Satyaki should be on my right and Drishtadyumna on my left. Bhima, I want you to be ahead of me and Arjun behind me. Readily, the brothers agreed. Like two hungry lions pouncing on a prey, Yudhishthir and Shalya lunged at each other. The mild and calm Yudhishthir appeared to be transformed into a determined and formidable foe. Like a strong gust of wind dispelling clouds, Yudhishthir played havoc with the Kaurav army. "Stand still, Shalya! Here I come!" So gallantly did Yudhishthir and Shalya fight that it was impossible to say who would win in the duel. Shalya fired 100 arrows on Yudhishthir, who retaliated with 300. Soon Shalya's rear guards were killed, his horses slain, and his banner fell. Noting Shalya's plight, Ashwathama quickly put him on his own chariot and carried him away. Yudhishthir roared like a lion as he saw his adversary getting away. But soon Shalya was back on another chariot. Bhim, Satyaki, Nakal and Sahadev formed a protective ring around Yudhishthir and challenged Shalya to fight. Under Yudhishthir's attack, Shalya became unconscious. However, he quickly recovered and discharged the 100 arrows at Yudhishthir. With 9 well-aimed arrows, Yudhishthir tore off Shalya's armor. In retaliation, Shalya broke Yudhishthir's bow. Soon, Shalya's arrows rent asunder Yudhishthir's golden armor and killed his horses. Kripa killed his charioteer. Bhim began to harass Shalya with a single swift arrow. He broke Shalya's bow and with another killed the charioteer. Soon the 4 horses too fell. Shalya now jumped down, sword in one hand and shield in the other. Drishtadyumna, Shikhandi and Satyaki surrounded Shalya while Bhima broke his shield to pieces and knocked his sword off. The frightened Kaurav soldiers ran pell-mell in all directions. Shalya charged towards Yudhishthir. Yudhishthir picked up a fierce-looking golden javelin, studded with gems, and threw it at Shalya's broad chest. With his arms spread out, Shalya fell down, and the very earth appeared to rise to welcome him. In his warlike fervor, Yudhishthir continued to attack the Kaurav army. Shalya's army rallied together to attack the Pandavas. Shakuni asked Duryodhana, "Why did you allow Shalya's army to attack the Pandavas? Had we not all decided to fight in unison?" Duryodhana replied, "I did try, but they did not listen to me. Look, now they have all fallen and lie dead." Seeing his army demoralized by the fall of their commander, Duryodhana said to his charioteer, "Place my chariot behind my army. I must persuade them not to flee." Seeing Duryodhana taking charge, 21,000 Kaurav soldiers were infused with confidence again to face the enemy.
"Here comes the mighty Duryodhana to lead us. Let us attack the Pandavas."
Bhima saw the roaring mass approaching and quickly descended from his chariot with his mace. He soon managed to kill most of them. The Kaurav kings too began to flee. Duryodhana called out, "Do not run away! You will surely be killed if isolated. Come, let us fight together." Persuaded by Duryodhana, the Kaurav kings prepared to face the enemy. Addressing Krishna, Arjun said, "For 18 days this battle has been going on. Today I must destroy the whole Kaurav army and put an end to it." Soon the arrows emerging in a rapid volley from the Gandiva covered the entire battlefield. Tortured by Arjun's arrows, the Kaurav soldiers were again ready to flee. Duryodhana tried to repel Drishtadyumna, who was attacking the army. When Drishtadyumna killed his horses and charioteer, Duryodhana rode away on horseback to Shakuni. And Sanjaya narrated the subsequent events. After destroying the Kaurav's entire army of elephants, Bhima attacked Duryodhana's brothers. United, they tried to repel his attack, but soon they were struck down by his arrows and fell like trees uprooted on a mountainside in a strong gale. On this 18th day of the terrible war, Bhima was in his element. After putting to death almost all of the Kaurav brothers, he turned to the rest of the army. Soon the battlefield around him was strewn with the bodies of countless elephants, horses and soldiers that succumbed to his mighty mace. Krishna said to Arjun, "Behold Duryodhana and Sudarshan amidst the horsemen. Kill them." Arjun replied, "O Krishna, only these two remain of all the Shastra's sons. They too will die today. Rest assured." Arjun then attacked the Trigarta army, which had been harassing him all these days. At last he killed Susharma, thus ending the Trigarta saga. Bhima killed Sudarshan with sharp arrows. Duryodhana alone remained among the core of brothers. Shakuni and his son Yuluka attacked Bhima and Sahadev. So numerous were the arrows sent by Sahadev in response that they covered the sky like a swarm of locusts. Uluka shot 7 arrows at Bhima and 70 at Sahadev. Sahadev retaliated suitably. He beheaded Yuluka with his spear. Shakuni's eyes brimmed over with tears. With a deep sigh, he recalled Vidur's words. An enraged Shakuni then attacked Sahadev with various weapons, but his attempts were of no avail. His dagger was cut, his bow was broken, his mace was felled, and his spear fell like lightning from the sky. Filled with fear, Shakuni and his men ran away. The Pandavas rejoiced in their victory. Sahadev chased the fleeing Shakuni. He screamed, "O fool, be a Kshatriya! Fight like a man, you evil Shakuni! Come, pay for your cunning moves in that game of dice!" Sahadev continued to rain arrows and taunts at Shakuni. "All those who mocked us have been killed. Only you and Duryodhana remain." Then with a vicious-looking iron spear, bedecked with golden feathers, Sahadev beheaded the cunning Shakuni. Dry-mouthed with terror, the Kaurav warriors began to run away. The Pandav soldiers cheered Sahadev. "Bravo! You have killed the wicked Shakuni and his son in battle." Once again, Duryodhana persuaded his soldiers to return, but they could not face their foes for long. Soon the Kaurav forces were completely destroyed. Of an army of 11 Akshohinis, not even a single soldier remained. Duryodhana stood alone, without an army or a chariot, forlorn and wounded. There he was, the lone warrior facing an army of 2,000 chariots, 700 elephants, 5,000 horses and 10,000 soldiers, with Drishtadyumna in command. The joyous sounds of celebration reverberated in his ears. When he looked around, he saw the battlefield strewn with his fallen soldiers. Petrified with fear, he took to his heels. A mighty king, protected by 11 Akshohinis, now had just a mace over his soldiers to defend him. He recalled Vidur's words. Vidur in his wisdom had realized the outcome of his battle, he thought to himself. Running northwards, he came upon a lake and decided to immerse himself in it. Meanwhile, on sage Vyasa's biddings, Satyaki released Sanjaya and let him go. While Sanjaya was returning to the city, he espied Duryodhana alone and wounded. Sanjaya recalled the scene later. Sanjaya narrated to Duryodhana the tale of his capture and subsequent release. "Vyasa told me that only 3 Maharathis now remain on your side." Duryodhana sighed deeply and said, "There is no one but you whom I can call my own now. Convey my message to my father that I have entered the depths of this lake." Duryodhana then entered the pool after making the water stand still. Just then, Ashwadhama, Kripachalya and Kritavarma arrived on the scene. Wounded and weary, they were surprised to see Sanjaya. They said, "Sanjaya, how fortunate to see you still alive. Do you know where Duryodhana is?" Sanjaya gave them Duryodhana's message. Ashwadhama looked over the lake and said, "Alas, the king does not know we are still alive. Together we can still face the Pandavas." The 3 warriors waited a while, bemoaning Duryodhana's decision. But when they heard the sound of soldiers approaching, they went away. Along with Sanjaya, they returned to the camp. On hearing the news of the defeat, the guards, already shaken with worry, broke down. Unable to bear the loneliness of the deserted camp, Ashwadhama, Kripa and Kritavarma returned to the lakeside. On reaching the lake, they softly called out to Duryodhana, "Arise, O king! Come with us to fight Yudhishthira, win, and conquer or die in glory. You too have destroyed much of the Pandava army. We can easily subdue the remaining few, wounded and weary as they are. Come, let us fight." Duryodhana's voice was heard from under the water. "I am so happy you have survived this fearful war. Just now I am exhausted and wounded, but tomorrow we will certainly fight again." Delighted at Duryodhana's decision to fight, Ashwadhama declared, "Glory to you, O king! We will surely destroy them. I swear, I will kill them as soon as day dawns." Some hunters who happened to come to the lake to quench their thirst overheard the conversation. They concluded that Duryodhana was hidden in the lake and was being invited to fight again. Talking in whispers, they said, "If we tell Yudhishthira that Duryodhana is here, hiding here, we will surely be rewarded. Come, let us go fast. Maybe we will get so rich that we will never have to work again." Meanwhile, Yudhishthira realized that Duryodhana was missing and sent his spies in all directions. When they returned without any clue of Duryodhana's whereabouts, Yudhishthira was worried indeed. Just then, hunters arrived at the camp. Ignoring the protests of the guard, they forced their way in. They narrated the events at the lakeside to Bhima, who rewarded them handsomely. Bhima went over to Yudhishthira and said, "My men have located Duryodhana. He is hiding in Lake Dwapayan." Yudhishthira said, "Good, let us go there at once." With Krishna in the lead, the Pandavas proceeded to Dwapayan. "Duryodhana has been found." Forgetting their fatigue, Arjun, Bhim, Nakul, Sahadev, Drishtadyumna, Shakuni, Shikhandi, Satyaki went with Yudhishthira. When the sound of approaching army reached their ears, Ashwadhama, Kripa and Kritavama told Duryodhana, "The victorious Pandavas appear to be coming here. Allow us to go, O king." And Duryodhana replied, "As you wish." The three warriors moved away and rested under a banyan tree. They thought to themselves, "What will happen to Duryodhana now? What will the Pandavas do?" On reaching the lake, Yudhishthira remarked, "Look, O Krishna, how the waters have been stilled by Duryodhana. Let us use all his devious ways and I will get him in the end." And Duryodhana replied, "Krishna, you too can use all your skills against him." Reassured by Krishna, Yudhishthira called out to Duryodhana, "You have caused the death of all our dear ones, and now you hide yourself. Where is your pride, your valor, your prowess in archery? Arise and fight like a Kshatriya, O king." Duryodhana responded from the depths of the water, "I have no chariot, no weapon, no army. Yet it is not fear or sorrow that just brought me here. I am just too tired now. Let your men rest a while too. Tomorrow we will resume fighting." Yudhishthira replied, "We have rested enough. Come out and fight. Conquer us and rule, or be killed like a warrior." Duryodhana said, "With all my loved ones dead, I have no desire to rule. Take over this land and I will retire to this forest in bark and deerskin." Yudhishthira, first time angry, shouted, "Do not twitter uselessly like a bird. What right have you now to give this land to me? What a proud Kshatriya like me accept charity? I will claim the kingdom by defeating you in battle. Come and fight." Duryodhana flailed around his arms in frustration, sighed repeatedly but remained inside. He said, "You have your army, chariots and weapons. I am alone, outnumbered and without a chariot. How can I possibly fight? It is not fair for an army to fight an isolated, weaponless, armorless, fatigued man. I can fight any one of you at a time. I can even kill you if we fight righteously like true Kshatriyas." Yudhishthira replied sarcastically, "Oh, I am glad to hear you know the Kshatriya code of conduct. But anyway, since you are ready to fight, we will abide by your wish. Choose your weapon and fight any one of us. The rest will just be spectators." Duryodhana said, "In that case, I choose my mace. Let any one of your warriors come forward to oppose me." And Yudhishthira replied, "Come, let us see your valor, your manhood. I am sure that even if Lord Indra comes to your aid today, you cannot escape alive." Thus taunted, Duryodhana rose up and appeared on the surface like the rising sun. He had an iron mace in his hand. Thrilled to see Duryodhana emerge at last, the Pandavas rejoiced and clasped one another's hands. Duryodhana declared, "I will fight all of you but one at a time. You righteous warriors know the rules of conduct." And Yudhishthira replied, "But did you not know the rules of conduct when you surrounded Abhimanyu?" Only when they face a problem themselves do men quote from law books. Yudhishthir then made a magnanimous offer. You may choose any one of us to fight with you, and if you kill one of us in the fight, we will anoint you king. Duryodhana put on the golden armor and the headgear offered to him. Krishna, who had been watching silently for a while, said to Yudhishthir with extreme anger, "How could you ask him to fight any one of you? Only Bhima is powerful enough to face Duryodhana in a mace combat, but he has no practice. Duryodhana has been practicing for 13 years with an iron image of Bhima. This is going to be another game of dice. You know that practice is more important than skill in a duel. No one can beat Duryodhana in a fair mace fight." Bhima came forward and reassured Krishna. "Do not worry, O Krishna. I will definitely kill Duryodhana today." Krishna was overjoyed. "Yes, Bhima, it is you who killed the other sons of Dhritarashtra. Now kill Duryodhana and place the world at Yudhishthir's feet. But take care, Duryodhana has both skill and experience." Bhima went up to Duryodhana and declared, "Recall all your misdeeds, O Duryodhana. The tortures and insults you hurled at us because of you, Bhishma, Drona, Karna and Shalya laid down their lives. Today it's your turn." The fight was about to start when Balram, who had been away on a pilgrimage, arrived there. Krishna and the Pandavas rushed to greet him. Krishna said, "Come and watch your disciples in action." Balram replied, "I have returned after 42 days of pilgrimage. I am anxious to see my pupils." Bhima and Duryodhana raised their maces in a greeting to Balram. After describing the pilgrimage at length, Balram said to Yudhishthir, "I have been told that the Samantaptaka is the most holy spot. It is quite close by. Let the duel take place there, for those who die there are sure to attain heaven." And all of them said, "So be it." All of them proceeded there. Duryodhana, with his head held high and mace aloft, walked proudly among the Pandavas. Soon they reached the banks of the river Saraswati. Bhima and Duryodhana got ready for the duel. Like two enraged elephants, they faced each other, two handsome men, with maces upraised, bent on destruction. Addressing Yudhishthir, Duryodhana said proudly, "Brave warriors, sit near us and witness the fight." So all of them sat around the arena. The blue-clad Balram looked like the resplendent moon. The fight started, and it was fierce. Soon, with mighty blows of their mace, they were both wounded and they bled profusely. They both fought in a fair and just manner. They circled each other. They leaped in the air. They rushed at each other. They ducked to escape blows, and now they tried to push each other down. While Balram proudly watched his pupils, Arjuna asked Krishna anxiously, "Tell me, O Krishna, who is the superior of the two?" Krishna said, "Both of them are trained by my brother Balram. Bhima is more powerful, but Duryodhana is far ahead in skill and experience. It is almost impossible to beat Duryodhana in a fair fight. Bhima may have to resort to unfair means. Remember his vow to break Duryodhana's thighs?" Bhima and Duryodhana were meanwhile fighting fiercely. Duryodhana sprang up in the air to dodge a blow. And catching Bhima's eye, Arjun meaningfully struck his own thigh forcefully. Catching the hint and remembering his vow, Bhima waited for a chance. And after the next bout, in which Duryodhana almost made him faint, Bhima tried to anticipate his adversary's next move. When Duryodhana jumped up next time, Bhima hit out forcefully at his thighs. With his thighs broken, Duryodhana collapsed to the ground. The elated Pandavas came closer to see the fallen hero. Proudly, Bhima kicked Duryodhana's crown and put his foot on his head. He said, "You wicked man! You cheat! Suffer for your insults you hurled at us." Yudhishthir stepped forward and said, "Enough, Bhima! You have fulfilled your vow. Do not insult him so. After all, he is our brother, a king, and the lord of 11 Akshahinis." Reprimanding Bhima, Yudhishthir went to Duryodhana to tell him how lucky he was to die and attain heaven, while they were destined to live on a world bereft of so many loved ones. Thus the righteous Yudhishthir bemoaned the fall of the Duryodhana. And thus ends the 38th session of our rendering of Vaishampan's recital of Vyasa's immortal Ityasa, the Mahabharata. Stay tuned for Mahabharata chapter 39, and it is called After the War. Please subscribe to this channel, like, share and comment on this video. Thank you and Namaste.